Hello and welcome to the site. This is Russ Edgar. What I'm showing you is going to be a pretty big do-it-yourself project for me. I'm showing you the corner, and I'll swing around. You can see of a place that we call the Dollhouse. It is a shop. Consists of two rooms, and this is the one room that is on the northwest wall. I'm going to install a solar system here, two 6000 XPs and three stacked do-it-yourself Apex batteries. I've already ordered them. They're on their way here. They'll arrive here sometime after February 6th. There will be 48 batteries, 48 small batteries, to be hooked into 3 big batteries, and 3 of the boxes that you put together. What I'm doing this morning, as you can see, I'm got a Harbor Freight frame with casters that came with our Harbor Freight vacuum system. Those who saw the other video know that we did not put it on the dolly. We mounted it permanently on the wall with quite a bit of modification, and we really like the use of it. But what I'm going to do this morning is show you, or what I'm going to do, I've been working on it for about a half hour. I'm going to install 2 large, and I believe they're 2x8s, on the back side of this. This will increase the capacity for carrying weight, because the 3 solar batteries that I'm going to build and put on this are going to weigh 700-ish pounds or so. So I've got to have a good dolly to hold that. Swing around here and tell you what I'm doing here. These swing around here and show you what I'm doing on the wall in this corner. These are pieces of Hardie board that we had left over from building the house. Did not throw them away. We don't throw much away. I'm going to take them, I put them up to see what I thought I wanted. I'm going to take them down this morning, start taking them down after I finish building the dolly. And what's going to happen, and the reason I'm doing this, is I'm going to, and I've got it marked up here at the top. You can see a line there. That's going to be the top of the next full-size, brand new Hardie board that I bought yesterday at Lowe's. The reason I'm doing this is that even though I'm not worried, I promised Lynn that I would make this as fireproof as possible. So I'm going to line the floor. I'm going to put Hardie board on the floor, on this flat wall, and on this wall here. And actually, when I'm done, I'm going to put a topper on it so that if we did have a flames come from the battery, they would not go up and hit the top of my building. As you can see, they would be held in by the Hardie board. Hardie board has 0 flame spread, so it would be a very good way to make sure that we're safe from fire. Well, I've got a little progress. Got a couple of full sheets up. I put the foam on the floor so that it would keep the batteries warm. There's nothing under this floor except 3/4 inch plywood, and it's not going to do well with this northwest corner. We had 18 below the other night, so you can get quite a bit of cold here, so this is going to shield the cold some, and then I will put a heat mat under the batteries when I'm done. All right, we've got it pretty much finished. I am going to caulk the seams with silicone, but what I have is you have a floor, is what you're looking at. A long wall. Ceiling is covered if we get a fire. I don't think I will, but that's what I did. The piece of cardboard taped on the wall is approximately where I'm going to put the 6000 XP on that wall, and then I'll be able to put a second one on this wall and a combiner box. So I've got lots of room. The batteries that are coming mid-February are going to go right here. That is a dolly. I'll swing it around so you can see. I can have it either way. And actually, in my mind down the road, I'll probably swing it around this way. And that would give me room to have another dolly here with another 3 batteries. If that was the case, I'll probably put a bus bar right there on that line someplace so I can hook up all of the batteries. I appreciate you watching this with me. It may give you some ideas that you may be able to make your install fire resistant. I believe this one is. What else? Well, Lynn reminded me when I was making this video that I take too much for granted and think everybody knows what I know. Since Lynn and I built our own house and have built more than one actually. So I need to talk about what I use. This is Hardie Backer Board. It's 3 feet by 5 feet by 0.42 inches in. It's a cement board. This is a scrap that I've got right here with my stuff laying on it. How I installed it, I actually bought several years ago. We had a big bunch of these, 800 of them. They're 10x by 1 1/4 screws. I'll hold it up so you can see it. It's a square drive screw. They're really tough. They do really well. I self-feed them into the Hardie board. I usually don't drill it, but when I do, and I did do some, I use a small drill bit. On the driver that I use, I have a square drive. The other things that I use, and I'll show you, I had a couple places where I needed something with extra length. And so I made my own screws that some Lynn had bought to do some cabinet work. I put a washer on them, drilled them in. I'll show you. This is where I had to use the long screws and the washers on the EVE here. What that point is where the old roof was coming down and we built over it, and I had to put a tube of 6 actually as a backer to hold everything in the correct position. So I had to use the old or the long 2-inch screws. I've done this a little bit wrong, Lynn says, but that's the way it is. I only put screws, since this was being no support on the studs. I've got the studs marked, I've got screws at every stud point. This is what I cut the Hardie board with. It's a very, very old Craftsman saw, and you can see that it has a blade on it that is reversed. That's a carbide tip blade. It's a really good, it was 40 years ago, it was a good blade. I turned it around and it cuts cement block, and it cuts Hardie board or anything that's concrete with great, it's wonderful. We've used it to cut all the cement block when we built our basement to our house. We've cut Hardie board many times, so it's a old, very useful, cheap item to cut it with. I appreciate you being with me on this video. There's going to be several of these videos. There'll be a battery build video, installing the 6000s video, putting up the panels outside. So there's lots of things that I'd like to show you down the road. I appreciate you being with me. Please subscribe if you have the time, and thank you for being with me.